When Marcus's baby wouldn't stop crying on the crowded train, angry passengers glared with disgust. The widowed father was drowning in debt, alone and broken. Then his phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. "I'm sitting behind you." He had no idea the stranger would change everything. Before watching full story, comment below from where you watching. Also like and subscribe for more stories. Perfect for social media, book descriptions, or story introductions to grab attention instantly. The 6:15 a.m. train to downtown was packed as usual, but Marcus Chin felt more alone than ever. His 3-month-old daughter Lily was crying again, that heart-wrenching wail that seemed to pierce through every passenger's morning calm. He bounced her gently, whispering soft words that did nothing to quiet her distress. "Should baby girl please?" Marcus whispered, his voice cracking. Dark circles under his eyes told the story of countless sleepless nights since his wife Sarah had died in childbirth. The medical bills had drained their savings, and now he was commuting 2 hours each way to a job that barely paid enough to keep them afloat. Around him, passengers shot annoyed glances. A businessman in an expensive suit rolled his eyes dramatically. A woman in designer clothes moved to another seat, making her disgust obvious. Marcus felt their judgment like physical blows, each disapproving look reminding him of his failures. He tried everything, rocking, singing quietly, offering a bottle. Nothing worked. Lily's cries grew louder, more desperate. Marcus felt tears burning his eyes. He was failing at the one thing that mattered most, being a good father to the only family he had left. "I'm sorry," he whispered to the angry faces around him. "I'm so sorry." His phone buzzed. A text from his landlord. "Rent is 3 days late. Pay by Friday or you're out." Marcus closed his eyes, holding Lily closer. They had nowhere to go. His parents had cut him off when he married Sarah against their wishes. Her parents lived across the country and barely acknowledged Lily's existence. He was truly, completely alone. The train lurched forward. Marcus noticed his phone light up again. Unknown number. Probably another bill collector. He almost ignored it, but something made him look. "I'm sitting behind you. Turn around." Marcus's heart skipped. Behind him sat a man in his 60s, well-dressed but not flashy, with kind eyes and silver hair. The man smiled gently and nodded toward the phone. Another message appeared. "Your daughter is beautiful. What's her name?" Marcus typed back hesitantly. "Lily. I'm sorry about the noise. I can't seem to calm her down." "Don't apologize. Babies cry. It's what they do." "How old is she?" 3 months. "Her mother died during childbirth. It's just us now." There was a pause. Then, "I'm sorry for your loss. Being a single parent is the hardest job in the world. You're doing better than you think." For the first time in months, Marcus felt a flicker of something other than despair. This stranger's kindness was like water in a desert. "Thank you. That means more than you know. What's your name?" "Marcus Chin. I work downtown." "You." "Theodore Blackwell." "And Marcus, I want you to know, you're not alone anymore." Over the following weeks, Marcus began looking forward to the train ride. Theodore, who insisted Marcus call him Theo, was always there, always ready with an encouraging word or helpful advice. Theo had raised 4 children as a single father after his wife left when his youngest was just 2. He understood the exhaustion, the overwhelming responsibility, the constant worry about doing everything wrong. "The first year is survival mode," Theo texted one morning as Lily fussed in Marcus's arms. "Don't worry about being perfect. Just love her. That's enough." When Lily had her first real smile at 10 weeks, Theo was the first person Marcus wanted to tell. When she rolled over for the first time, Theo celebrated like a proud grandfather. But Marcus was still struggling. The bills kept coming. His job as a data entry clerk paid barely enough for rent and formula. He'd lost 15 pounds because he often skipped meals to make sure Lily had everything she needed. One morning, Marcus didn't board the usual train. Theo waited, worried. The next day, Marcus appeared again, but he looked worse than ever. "Everything okay?" Theo texted. "Had to walk yesterday. Couldn't afford the train fare." Lily was out of formula. Theo's heart broke. That evening, he did something he'd never done before. He asked his driver to take a detour through Marcus's neighborhood. What he saw confirmed his worst fears. The building was run down in a dangerous part of town. This young father and his baby were living in poverty. Theodore Blackwell was not just any passenger on that train. He was the founder and CEO of Blackwell Industries, one of the largest tech companies in the country. His net worth was measured in billions, but he lived modestly and traveled without fanfare. He'd been taking public transportation for years, finding it helped him stay connected to real people and real problems. But Marcus didn't know any of this. To him, Theo was just a kind stranger who cared enough to listen. Theo began working behind the scenes. He had his assistant research Marcus's situation discreetly. What he found made him even more determined to help. Marcus had been an honor student in college, studying computer science before dropping out when Sarah got pregnant. He was intelligent, hardworking, and devoted to his daughter. He just needed a chance. Theo started small. He accidentally left gift cards on Marcus's seat for groceries, baby supplies, the pharmacy. When Marcus tried to return them, Theo insisted they were extras he couldn't use. "My daughter always buys me too many of these things," Theo would text. "You'd be doing me a favor." He arranged for his company's daycare center to have an opening, just as Marcus mentioned struggling to find affordable childcare. He had his HR department create a new, entry-level position with advancement potential that perfectly matched Marcus's skills. But he did it all so carefully that Marcus never suspected. To Marcus, these were just incredible strokes of luck during the darkest period of his life. "I can't believe it," Marcus texted Theo one morning, his hands shaking with excitement. "I got a job interview. It's with some tech company, Blackwell Industries. The pay is 3 times what I make now, and they have on-site childcare." Theo smiled as he read the message. "That's wonderful news. When is the interview?" "Tomorrow." "I'm terrified. I haven't interviewed for a real job in years. What if I mess it up?" "You won't. Be yourself. Tell them about your dedication, your problem-solving skills, your ability to work under pressure. Any company would be lucky to have you." The interview was with Sarah Martinez, Theo's head of HR, who had been briefed on the situation. She was genuinely impressed by Marcus, his intelligence, his work ethic, his determination to provide for his daughter despite overwhelming odds. "We'd like to offer you the position," she said at the end of the interview. "When can you start?" Marcus nearly cried right there in the conference room. "Immediately. Thank you. Thank you so much." As he left the building, he texted Theo, "I got the job. I can't believe it. Lily and I are going to be okay. I never doubted it for a second. You deserve this, Marcus. You both do." The transformation in Marcus's life was remarkable. The new job not only paid well but challenged him intellectually in ways he'd forgotten he missed. His colleagues welcomed him warmly, and Lily thrived in the company's excellent daycare center. For the first time since Sarah's death, Marcus could afford groceries without counting every penny. He could take Lily to the pediatrician when she had a cold without worrying about the copay. He could buy her new clothes instead of relying on donations. But more than the financial security, it was the renewed sense of purpose that changed everything. Marcus threw himself into his work, staying late to learn new systems, volunteering for extra projects. His supervisor noticed his dedication and began giving him more responsibility. "You're doing exceptional work," she told him during his 3-month review. "We're recommending you for the accelerated management track." Meanwhile, his friendship with Theo deepened. They still texted during the train rides, but now their conversations were lighter, filled with Lily's latest milestones and Marcus's growing confidence. She said, "Dad, today." Marcus texted one morning, practically vibrating with excitement. "That's incredible. Did you record it?" "Of course. Want to see the video?" "I'd love to." Theo watched the short clip of Lily babbling da-da-da, while Marcus's voice in the background nearly broke with joy. This was why he'd gotten involved. Not just to solve a financial problem, but to preserve this beautiful bond between father and daughter. A year had passed since that first morning when Lily's cries had filled the train car. Marcus was now a team leader at Blackwell Industries, earning enough to move into a nice apartment in a safe neighborhood. Lily was walking, saying a dozen words, and bringing joy to everyone at the company daycare. But Marcus had never forgotten the kindness of strangers, especially Theo. He wanted to do something special to thank the man who had become like a father figure to him. "I want to take you to dinner," Marcus texted one morning. "A real restaurant. To thank you for everything you've done for us." "That's not necessary, Marcus. Your friendship is thanks enough. Please. It would mean a lot to me. Lily and I both want to properly thank you." Theo finally agreed, and they met at a modest Italian restaurant downtown. Marcus arrived first, Lily babbling happily in her high chair. When Theo walked in, Marcus waved him over with a huge smile. "Theo? Over here." But as Theo approached the table, Marcus noticed something strange. Other diners were staring. The restaurant manager hurried over, looking flustered and excited. "Mr. Blackwell. What an honor. We had no idea you were dining with us tonight. Please, let me move you to our private dining room." Marcus looked confused. "Blackwell? Like the company?" Theo sat down slowly, his kind eyes meeting Marcus's puzzled gaze. Marcus, there's something I need to tell you. You're him, Marcus said quietly, the pieces suddenly clicking together. You're Theodore Blackwell. The CEO, the founder. Theo nodded. I am. Marcus felt dizzy. The job, the daycare opening, all those coincidences. Weren't coincidences. For a moment Marcus just stared. Then he stood up abruptly. I need some air. Outside the restaurant, Marcus paced back and forth, his mind reeling. Everything he'd achieved, everything he'd been proud of, had it all been charity? Pity from a billionaire who felt sorry for the crying baby on the train? Theo followed him out, Lily in his arms. The little girl reached for her father, sensing his distress. Marcus, please let me explain. Explain what? That you felt sorry for us? That you decided to play God with our lives? It wasn't like that. Then what was it like? Marcus's voice cracked. Because right now it feels like everything I thought I'd earned, everything I was proud of, was just fake. Theo was quiet for a long moment, gently bouncing Lily, who had started to fuss. Do you remember the first morning we met? What you were thinking when Lily was crying? Marcus wiped his eyes. I was thinking I was a failure. That I couldn't even comfort my own daughter. And everyone around you was making you feel worse about it. Yeah. But what did I do? Marcus thought back. You texted me. You said she was beautiful. Because she was .is. And what did I see when I looked at you? I don't know. I saw a young man who had lost everything but was still fighting for his daughter. I saw someone who apologized to strangers for his babies crying because he cared more about their comfort than his own pride. I saw love, Marcus. Pure, selfless love. Theo handed Lily back to her father. Yes, I arranged the job interview. Yes, I made sure the daycare had an opening. But Marcus, no one could have faked what you've accomplished this past year. The work you've done, the respect you've earned, the way you've grown as a leader, that's all you. They walked to a nearby park, settling on a bench while Lily played in the sandbox. The evening air was cool and peaceful. Why? Marcus asked finally. Why did you help us? Theo was quiet for a long time. 40 years ago I was you. Single father, 4 kids, barely making ends meet. My wife left because she said I'd never amount to anything. I was working 3 jobs, sleeping in my car sometimes, wondering if my children would be better off without me. He paused, watching Lily toddle around the sandbox. One day a stranger helped me. An old man who owned a small electronics shop. He gave me a job, taught me about computers, believed in me when no one else would. He changed the trajectory of my entire life. What happened to him? He died before I could properly thank him. Before I could pay him back. Theo smiled sadly. But he taught me something important. Kindness isn't about payback. It's about paying forward. Marcus felt his anger melting away. You were paying it forward. I was trying to. But Marcus, you have to understand, I didn't just help you because I felt sorry for you. I helped you because I saw potential. I saw someone worth investing in. And everything that's happened since then has proved me right. They sat in comfortable silence, watching Lily play. Finally Marcus spoke. I've been so proud of how far we've come. Finding out it wasn't entirely on my own merit, it hurt. I understand. But Marcus, think about it this way, how many people get opportunities and waste them? How many people, given a chance, don't rise to meet it? You didn't just take the help I offered. You exceeded every expectation. You turned a helping hand into a complete transformation of your life. Marcus considered this. It was true. He had worked incredibly hard. He had earned the respect of his colleagues. He had proven himself over and over again. Besides, Theo added with a smile, do you think I go around offering jobs to every crying baby on the train? You think this is how I usually spend my commute? Despite everything, Marcus laughed. I guess not. 6 months later, Marcus was promoted to Director of Innovation at Blackwell Industries. He'd earned it through his exceptional work on a project that saved the company millions of dollars. There was no question of favoritism now. His colleagues respected him, his ideas were valued, and his future was bright. But more importantly, he and Theo had developed a genuine friendship. They still texted during train rides, but now it was as equals. Theo had become like a grandfather to Lily, attending her 2nd birthday party and teaching her to say, Theo, which came out as Theo. One morning, as their train pulled into the station, Marcus noticed a young mother struggling with twin babies. The other passengers were giving her the same annoyed looks he remembered so well. The babies were crying, she was clearly exhausted, and she looked like she was about to break down. Marcus caught Theo's eye and smiled. Then he pulled out his phone. I'm sitting 2 seats away from you. The woman with the twins. I think we should introduce ourselves. Theo smiled and nodded. I think you're right. Marcus approached the young mother gently. Excuse me, I'm Marcus. This is my friend Theo. We couldn't help but notice you're having a rough morning. The woman looked up, tears in her eyes. I'm sorry about the noise. I know they're bothering everyone. I don't know how to calm them down. Don't apologize, Marcus said, sitting down beside her. Babies cry. It's what they do. What are their names? Emma and Ethan. They're 4 months old. I'm Sarah Williams. Marcus's heart squeezed at the name, but he smiled warmly. Beautiful names. I'm a single dad too. This is my daughter Lily. He showed her a photo on his phone. It gets easier, I promise. Theo sat down on the other side of Sarah. We'd like to help if you'll let us. Sometimes it just takes a village. Over the next few weeks, Marcus and Theo became Sarah's support system. They helped her find affordable childcare, connected her with resources for single mothers, and most importantly, reminded her daily that she wasn't alone. When Blackwell Industries posted an opening perfect for someone with Sarah's background in graphic design, Marcus personally recommended her for the position. You're paying it forward, Theo observed one morning as they watched Sarah, now thriving in her new job, board the train with her happy, healthy twins. I learned from the best, Marcus replied. The annual Blackwell Industries family picnic was in full swing. Marcus, now vice president of innovation, was pushing 5-year-old Lily on the swings while she giggled with delight. His life was fuller than he'd ever imagined possible. Higher, Daddy. Higher. Hold on tight, sweetheart. Nearby, Theo sat at a picnic table with Sarah Williams, now the company's head of creative design, and her twins. The children were playing together, their laughter filling the air. Thank you, Sarah said to Theo for the 100th time. For everything. Thank Marcus, Theo replied. He's the one who spotted you first. Marcus jogged over, Lily perched on his shoulders. What are we talking about? How you changed my life, Sarah said simply. How we changed each other's lives, Marcus corrected. He looked around at the scene, children playing, families laughing, people who had found hope in each other. This is what it's all about, isn't it? Connection, community, being there for each other. Theo smiled, thinking back to that first morning on the train when a crying baby had led him to this moment. It's funny how life works. You think you're helping someone else, but they end up helping you just as much. More, Marcus said firmly. You gave me more than a job, Theo. You gave me back my faith in humanity. You showed me that kindness still exists in the world. As the sun began to set, casting golden light over the gathering, Lily tugged on her father's shirt. Daddy, tell me the story about the train again. Marcus knelt down to her level. Which part do you want to hear? The part where Grandpa Theo became our family. Marcus looked up at Theo, who had indeed become like a father to him and a grandfather to Lily. Well, it started with a very special little girl who was crying on a train. As Marcus began the story that had become family legend, Theo watched the faces around him. Marcus, proud and confident. Lily, bright and curious. Sarah and her twins, secure and happy. This was his legacy, he realized. Not the billions in the bank or the company that bore his name, but these connections, these lives he'd had the privilege to touch. The kindness of a stranger on a train had rippled outward, creating waves of compassion that would continue long after he was gone. And it had all started with a simple text message, I'm sitting behind you. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let someone know they're not alone. Sometimes that's everything.